I am Dr. Ambiks and I am currently living in Bhubaneswar. I am a practicing psychiatrist and I have been offered a job in UK NHS recently. So I had been preparing for the IELTS exam. So I knew the basic English overall, but every time there was a problem when it came to reading initially. Writing, I was okay, and listening and the other one was fine, speaking. But with time, then reading was really tough for me. So I sought help from VerbalHub, which was more of one-on-one sessions. Initially, I had taken one group class for IELTS preparation online, but it did not really help me. So later on, I sought help from VerbalHub, and then it was more of a one-on-one session. And then in these sessions, like I got help gradually. I learned the parts which I really needed to focus, the timing, and then gradually I cleared my IELTS exam, and I will be moving forward to the United Kingdom uh, very soon. And I'm grateful to Verbal Hub.
Congratulations, Dr. Ambika, and best wishes for your future. Now, what was your overall IELTS band score?
My overall IELTS score after doing this sessions where for listening I got 8.5, for reading I got 8.5, for writing I got 7, and for speaking I got 7.5, and I got a overall band score of 8.
Good, very good. What is your advice for IELTS exam preparation?
So, as everyone is aware, that IELTS is like divided into four parts, like the whole IELTS exam. So, coming to speaking, I think you need to know some of the topics. Even though if you're very fluent in English and you have a knowledge, general knowledge about it, sometimes there are some questions like which is out of the blue. Like one of the questions I remember was on the cue card. One of the questions on the cue card was describe a comedy movie you have seen recently. So, comedy movie, but the purpose is not about the content of the comedy movie, whether it was very nice movie or a funny, a bad movie. It is more about what output you give, the content, the pronunciation, the flow. So you have to think in seconds, like which is the one movie that you know really good about the whole storyline, you know. So in these, I think there are few general topics which are available over the internet that you should just go through once, like if you have a backup in your mind, so you can go through it easily. Like another one question I remember was, tell me about a beautiful house. So you have seen thousands of houses, but if you don't have an idea behind your head, like what kind of house are you going to talk about, what is the description you're going to tell about. So I think you should be familiar with the common topics that they use in the speaking test, and the topics are usually repeated. So you can go with the internet and read about few topics, especially for the cue card. Introduction, I think everybody is able to do the cue card and the follow-up questions. So follow-up questions again will be secondary to the cue card. So I think if you are generally good with vocabulary and pronunciation, so I think speaking wouldn't be a really big problem. Next, I think listening. So listening again, you need to, I think, watch some movies, be familiar with some podcast, because some of the British pronunciations are a little bit difficult to catch. The accent is a little bit difficult to catch, so you can practice also. But no need to practice like every day for listening, because you're not going to catch up words. So I think listening to podcast or watching English movies or talking in English in general, I think that's going to help you with listening. And of course you have to the one of the best trick I kept when I was doing this exam was, for listening I would read the questions first. because in first they will tell you like, welcome to IELTS, this is your IELTS listening test. You don't have to listen to that content, just focus on the questions that is written on the screen. So just read once. You have to go through the questions before you listen to the content. If you go through the questions, you get idea. So sometimes it will be written like, the first starting part of this listening is like, this is the phone number whom you can contact. So you can expect numbers are coming in, so you have to be ready. So you there will be like, this is beside, in a lake you can see the fish dash and dash. So you can assume that some water animals are going to be told. So if you're familiar with the question, you will have a certain idea like what is going to come next. So I think that is one of the trick, and you should try to read the question once before the thing is spoken. I mean, the content of the speech is spoken. And otherwise, listening is not so difficult, I felt, in general. And another, reading. I think reading was initially very, very difficult for me. Firstly, searching the answers, knowing what word to pick up for fill in the blanks, and lastly, the timing. So these, I think, with practice, it will come. You need to have a good coach to tell you like what are the, you have to do a proofreading, and try not to read the whole 4 5 paragraphs. Just tips and tricks are available with the people, and just try to focus, try to find the keyword that is there. Sometimes like, uh, adventurous, if adventurous is present, then you can see for the word adventurous, and try to, usually it is in the chronological order. So other than matching headings, other than matching headings, mostly it is in the chronological order, so you can follow that step and then go about it. Try to find the keywords, try to do proofreading, and you have to read fast, because time limit is one of the factors. And always, if you try to finish your first and the second part within 15 minutes, you have 60 minutes in total. And usually the last passage is quite difficult. So even though the passage is difficult, finding answers can be, even if the passage is easy, finding answers can be difficult. So the trick I used to follow was 15 minutes for first part, 15 minutes for second part, and 30 minutes for last part. And if I get extra time in the last, after finishing the last part, I'll just check the spellings. So spelling is very important, because if you put in extra s also, then it is wrong. If you put an extra the also, that is also wrong. So you have to be very careful when it comes to listening also. If you have to be very careful with the spellings, because it will be wrong. And same as for reading. Last part, writing. Writing again, it's very tricky. You have to be very uh, careful with the commas. Don't go for very long sentences. Try to break your sentences by comma. Then the content, you have to read the question very well, because sometimes we read the question and then write the answer, and like, it does not match, the content doesn't match. So the task response, we will not get marks if the question and the answer doesn't match. So the one part of your whole thing is getting wrong. So in task response again, you will not get marks. So that is going to hamper your outcome of the whole passage. And always try to do part 2 first, then go to part 1. So part 1 mostly consists of graphs and maps, and then bar chart, pie chart. So try to give your 40 minutes to the part 2 part, and then go to the part 1 part for the 20 minutes. Try to give the 40 20, because obviously part 2 has more marks. So I think this is overall the thing. And try to just go through once, check once, try make 10 minutes time or 5 minutes time, and just reread or proofread once, once your whole essay is written. So I think these were a few tips and tricks I used to get through as a whole, sir.
Congratulations, Dr. Ambika, and best wishes for your future. Now, what was your overall IELTS band score?
Like, there are thousands of courses all over the internet, all over the YouTube. Grasp the content from YouTube, I think it's fine. But most people have difficulty in that. because YouTube people, they just put content, and the main crust they do not put it there. So for that main crust, again, they want you to take up their classes and stuffs. And there are also group sessions, but in group sessions, like, you as a person, what difficulty you are having, they will not address in that. They will keep their one, this is an question answer session, they will keep for the last 10 minutes, and then there will be like 60 participants or 30 participants, and people will keep on asking. Some of them are a little bit introvert also, so they are not able to ask their answer questions. And in a group session, I think you are not given the liberty to really ask repeated questions. They'll be like, okay, you have already asked question, let's give chance to another person. So like this, I think your difficulties can't be answered very properly. For me, I think I went for Verbala for one simple reason, that was one-to-one learning. I wanted one-to-one sessions, so that was the main reason I chose VerbalHub, and they were very good mentors who helped me. And VerbalHub, the mentors in VerbalHub, they not only focus on like you getting through, they also motivate you morally. And then, because at one point of time you'll be like, I've learned English my whole life, what is wrong with me, why am I not able to crack this? So that kind of frustration, or that kind of anxiety sometimes creeps in, so you get demotivated at times. So the mentors of Verbal Hub, I think they are uh, very sympathetic towards the students, and try to understand their problems as much as possible. They arrange time, and then extra time, there is mock test that can be done, there's speaking mock test. And then they you write essays, and then they check it periodically. And a special mention for Hassan Raja sir, because he has gone out of the way to help me. And there was a time where I was like, sir, I am like done now. This is my last time. And sir was like, nay, nay, bacha, you will do it, and you can do it. So I think that push and that extra help he had given me. So I think those all make a very big impact in your results. So I'm really grateful, and thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your all good words and thanks a lot again. What is your final advice?
Well, I think don't get demotivated. The process might be exhausting sometimes, but like, I think keep practicing, and try to read books, try to learn new vocabulary, and don't really use big words in your thing. Try to make it as simple as possible. But for speaking, sometimes if you use words like uh, C1 words, I guess that's in the Cambridge. So I think some big words, if you use, I think that can fetch you marks, but in an appropriate way. And obviously, practice is there. And if you are not able to do, then of course there are mentors over the internet. And Verbal Hub is one such platform where you can really seek help from. So just don't give up, keep on trying, and all the very best to all the aspirants.
Thank you so much and best wishes. I wish you all the best for your long journey, beautiful journey, and wealthy journey.
Thank you, sir.
So, people, if you want personalized classes, if you want one-on-one session, and if you want desired result, you can join VerbalHub because we offer very customized IELTS preparation journey.